So by chapter 3, Job has lost everything he owns. All of his children have gone to be with the Lord. His infrastructure has burnt to the ground, and now he's covered in sores and wounds from his head to his toes, and he's ripped his clothes off, and he's covered himself with ashes, and he's lamenting, and he sat quietly with his friends for 7 days. They just sit there in silence. Nobody says anything for like 7 days, because I mean, honestly, if you walked up and your friend had just lost everything they owned and they were like horribly grieving and sitting silently, you would just kind of sit there and be with them in it for a little while. Wait for them to speak first, you know? And then like when Job finally does speak, he doesn't curse the Lord. He curses the day he was born and the night he was conceived. Not only does he curse the day he was born and the night he was conceived, he says to completely remove that day from existence. In chapter 3, verse 6, he says, "As for that night, let darkness seize upon it. Let it not be joined unto the days of the year. Let it not come into the number of the months." So like, Job was born on February 30th, essentially. He like continues for the entire chapter about how it would have been much better for him to give up the ghost in the womb. And when Job stopped his lament, Eliphaz, his friend, was the first one to say anything. Eliphaz chapter 4 verse 2 says, "If we should undertake to talk with you, will you be grieved? But who can withhold himself from speaking?" He's like, will you be mad at me if I talk to you? Like, I know how you like to tussle, but like, who cannot say something to you right now? Then Eliphaz goes on to tell Job about how his voice used to give strength to weak hands. How he's instructed many people. But now when his knees are weak and his heart is faint, his words are touched with tragedy and sadness. He's like, this is not how you speak. This is not your confidence, your hope. Where's the uprightness of your way? But then Eliphaz kind of victim blames a little bit, because in verse 7 and 8, he's like, "Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? Even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. By the blast of God they perish, and by the breath of his nostrils they are consumed." So basically, Eliphaz is kind of like, you had to do something. Like God wouldn't give you this for nothing. Like you didn't sow this wickedness, so you wouldn't reap this wickedness unless you had sown this wickedness. And like, bear in mind, for the next several chapters, his friends are just going to keep like questioning and wondering why this is happening to him. Like, what's actually cool about what Eliphaz says in the next several verses is that he shares a supernatural experience. In verse 12, he says, "Now a thing was secretly brought to me, and mine ear received a little thereof, in thoughts from the visions of the night, when deep sleep was upon me. Fear came upon me, and trembling, which made all my bones shake. Then a spirit passed before my face, and the hair of my flesh stood up. It stood still, but I could not discern the form thereof. An image was before my eyes. There was silence, and I heard a voice say, Shall mortal man be more just than God? Shall a man be more pure than his maker? Behold, he put no trust in his servants, and his angels he charged with folly. How much less in them that dwell in houses of clay, whose foundation is the dust, which are crushed before the moth. They are destroyed from morning to evening. They perish forever without any regarding it. Doth not their excellency which is in them go away? They die without wisdom. Call now, if there be any that will answer thee, and to which of the saints wilt thou turn? For wrath killeth the foolish man, and envy slayeth the silly. I have seen the foolish taking root, but suddenly I cursed his habitation. His children are far from safety, and they are crushed in the gate. Neither is there any to deliver them. We're going to stop there at chapter 5, verse 4. You can continue reading all you want to, and if you want to hear from me what happens next, hit like and share. Peace, love, and happy drugs.